this is Sarah and James with A Full Life, and we're going to be doing part 3 of our author series with an interview with James, who is a writer and published author. He has a book published called Afognak, and it's been talked about in other videos, so check out those videos and check out the links for his book if you're interested in any of that. So, ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. The first question I have is, who are your favorite authors? Who do you like? Who do you enjoy reading?
I have a lot of favorite authors. Kind of like when people ask what your favorite movie is. There's just so many. I would probably start with Stephen King.
Okay.
Because I just like his genre that he writes in. I like his horror books. I also like his science fiction books. I think I like him because he's still alive. So he's constantly producing. So every 3 to 6 months, I can look forward to a new Stephen King novel. And he's written so much already that oftentimes somebody will be like, "Haven't you ever read by Stephen King?" And I'll be like, "No, I've never even heard of it." So it's kind of exciting that way. I also like a lot of the authors I've interviewed on my show, like Ann Leckie. She's from the St. Louis area. Which is kind of in the area where I grew up, so it's kind of exciting to know that she's from there. She wrote the book Ancillary Justice. It's a series. If you haven't read it, check it out. Catherine Coulter, who's been around on the writing scene forever. She writes mysteries and thrillers, and they're excellent. If you haven't heard of her, just go to the library. You'll find an entire section with her name on it. And then also Christopher Paolini is one of my faves. I loved his book Aragon. Back when he first came out, it wasn't a series, it was just going to be a trilogy, so the Inheritance Cycle is what it's called now. It didn't exist at the time, but I've always enjoyed his take on fantasy. And then I would say one of my favorite all-time authors is Michael Crichton. Unfortunately, Michael Crichton is deceased. I think he was dealing with cancer, and I think he finally succumbed to that battle. But I really loved how he could take hard science and put them into his science fiction novels to make it almost believable. We've all heard Jurassic Park. That's one of the books he wrote. One of my favorite books he wrote was called Sphere. It's about an underwater spaceship that's found by a group of Navy divers. So it kind of has the element. I like to dive. I'm a scuba diver myself. I enjoy being underwater. So the thought of finding a big giant spaceship is kind of cool. So it's something that I really enjoy. They made a movie of it. It's horrible. It's not horrible in and of itself. It's just horrible because, I don't quite know. It's just missing something. Like, it's got great acting with Samuel L. Jackson, Dustin Hoffman, Sharon Stone. It's got beautiful imagery. It's not too far removed from the book, but there's just something about it that's gone, and it makes it kind of flat.
Something's missing.
Yeah.
Cool. Next question. Where do your ideas come from?
My ideas come from lots of places. Sometimes it's as simple as driving down the road and having a thought pop in my head and kind of playing and toying around with it. Sometimes it comes from dreams. You'll have a nightmare or a cool dream, and you wake up and you're like, "Whoa, I gotta write that down," or that's like a perfect plot for a book. And then sometimes it's just sitting around thinking, and it just comes up. Other times, true life events make you think of stories, make you think of ideas. I'm a big fanatic of unsolved mysteries. Sarah can tell you I watch Unsolved Mysteries pretty much every day. And now that Amazon's put like all 12 seasons, I think there's way more than 12, but there are 12 seasons of the original. I'm like binge watching them every morning. And they repeat themselves like 100,000 times. The same mystery is repeated dozens of times throughout the series. And I still keep watching it. Like, even though I know the outcome and the mystery is solved, I'm just a fanatic. I just have to watch. I'm addicted to unsolved mysteries. And I'm pretty sure a lot of modern day books their premise has come from an unsolved mystery episode. I think of the movie Jeepers Creepers, which I don't know if it's based on a book or not. I know I'm getting off track a little bit with writing, but Jeepers Creepers is about the creepy guy who's in this creepy van who, these kids see at this place like pull over, and he's got bodies in it. It goes on to be he's a monster, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But there's an unsolved mysteries that's almost exactly like that, where this van like passes these kids and it's kind of going crazy, and they think it's kind of weird, and they follow it, and there's a body in the van that somebody's trying to dispose of. So it's almost so similar that it makes you wonder how many people have written things, maybe written movies or written books that have a premise based off something they saw as a child on unsolved mysteries.
Interesting.
So that's where my ideas come from.
And then the last question, how do you think you have evolved creatively?
Well, when it comes to evolving creatively, I would say from my childhood on, everybody kind of evolves in the writing style, just getting better. You know, starting with simple stuff, working on it as you edit your first book, or you get published, and you go through a process of editing. The editors teach you a lot of things about your writing that you are maybe blinded to, or maybe just to understand. So that's one way that I've evolved, is just getting that experience through multiple edits of different works that I've produced. Another thing that I think is probably one of the core things I've learned and I've kind of evolved in is short sentences, short paragraphs. Before it's, writers get this misunderstanding, they gotta be verbose, they gotta explode these words on the page and write these long sentences, long paragraphs. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong, I'm just saying for me it wasn't right. And I have found that, readers and writers, there's a relationship there. The writer puts his soul, his life into his writing or her writing, and readers go into that writing, but they also bring themselves into that. We all know that we've read a book where we've analyzed the main character in our minds completely different than what the book says, because as soon as we start reading some trait that connects with somebody we know or somebody from our past, we put that person in the book. We envision that, or we might just create our own envisionment of the character, and then we watch a movie where they've done painstaking work to determine what this character looks like, and it's completely opposite of what you thought in your mind. And that's part of what the reader does. The reader brings in their own thoughts into it. So if you're giving them everything, if you're giving them these really long sentences, you're leaving nothing to the imagination. I have found that for me, shorter sentences allow you get rid of all the unnecessary words, and you allow the reader to get to bring stuff into it more readily than before. So it's kind of building that relationship with writer-reader.
All right, well, thanks, James. If you like these videos, give us a thumbs up, and please subscribe so you don't miss any future author tips from James. And we'll see you next time. Bye.